All right, so Auburn wins Friday and Saturday and then ties 12-12 on Sunday to USC. Of course, this game was supposed to be in LA, Lindsay. They rescheduled it on Wednesday. Pretty incredible work by both programs to keep this game on the schedule. Sounds like there's some blizzard stuff going on in California. So it was played here. USC traveled really well, Lindsay. And Auburn's bats looked really, really good throughout the weekend. It appears to be sustainable, maybe a little better than we thought it would be.
Yeah, so looking at the weekend, you score 5 runs on Friday. Close game, actually had a save situation, 5-3. Saturday, 12-6. Auburn has 3 innings. You put up crooked numbers, kind of explosion of bats. And then Sunday is just completely off the rails, drunk, 12-12 tie. One of the wildest games I have seen in quite a while.
And of course, it's a tie. Like,
what
of course, in the world?
It's a tie. So to clarify what happened, because of all of this craziness with the travel, Auburn booked travel for UFC on Tuesday afternoon. Their flight is leaving out of Atlanta. And so the rule passed was no new inning could start after 3:30 p.m. on a 12 o'clock first pitch. Normally, not a big deal, right? 11 runs were scored in the first 2 innings on Sunday. So this game drug on. The 9th inning started at like 3:22 or something like that. So the 9th inning was going to be it. USC gets runners on first and third, gets a base hit. The guy comes in to score the winning run, but didn't touch home plate. They touched the plate. He's out. Run doesn't count.
Lindsay, there was this fan sitting. He was on the first base side, but pretty close to home plate. And he's like grabbing the net, screaming. And Nate LaRue, all the Plainsman Park's looking at this guy. He's so loud. And the ball's at second, right? Like the ball's at second base. And so LaRue like looks at the guy and he's like, he nods and he looks at to second base and he's like, I don't remember if it was second baseman or shortstop that's standing there, but they throw him the ball and then it's out and like everybody just points to this dude. It's like, and I saw a few people like crediting the dugout. And it's like, it may have been, but LaRue heard the fan. He did not hear the dugout.
Give that guy season tickets because he saved you from losing this game to USC.
Right.
Sunday non-conference baseball is wild. You won the series on Saturday, right? And so Butch talked about this Saturday night when he met with the media. You now have an opportunity. You let a lot of the youngsters play, especially in the pitching rotation and the bullpen, kind of give them a chance to acclimate to the college game. Sunday, 4 runs for USC before you record an out. Auburn turns around, scores 7 unanswered. USC picks up 4 more in the 4th, 3 more in the 7th. It's just a back and forth battle, but ends in a tie. Ultimately, what happens here? Auburn wins the series 2-0-1, right? It's so weird to have a tie in baseball. Yeah. I had to look up how RPI treats a tie because I literally did not know because baseball is not a sport where you tie a lot.
I've never been to a game where there was a tie, like ever in any.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I've been to many baseball games that were ties, honestly.
I've never been to one.
I went to a minor league game that went to extras, and they were going to take it to a tie if nobody scored in the 10th, but somebody scored in 1, so we're fine.
Okay.
But either way, so Auburn gets out of this right now. They are 5-1-1. I wrote a piece at Auburn Daily before the season started about the schedule in the RPI. This is obviously a big deal when it comes to postseason seeding. This is what basketball is dealing with right now because they lost to Kentucky so bad over the weekend. Sorry to bring up bad feelings, folks.
Yikes.
So Auburn is a top 60 team right now in RPI. They're 57th. Their opponent this upcoming weekend, Lipscomb, is a top 50 team in RPI. Southeastern Louisiana the weekend after that. They were a postseason team last year. They came to Auburn in the Auburn Regional. They were the 4 seed that Auburn exploded on for 15 runs in the first inning of game 1 last year. And then you have a home and home with Georgia Tech. So, one, root for USC to win the rest of their games, to do well in the Big 12, the Pac-12. But 2, the fact that this series got moved to home didn't hurt Auburn as much because they didn't lose any games. You get more credit for a road victory than you do a home victory, and you get more punishment for a home loss than a road loss. Auburn didn't lose anything at home, and the one tie, in essence, is a wash. There's no negative repercussions for a tie. So Auburn's in a good position. Right now, it's all going to be down to pitching. I feel like the hitting is sustainable. It's a lot of, you've got home run power. Justin Kirby has 5 hits on the season, and all of them are home runs.
Yeah.
It is the wildest stat line I have ever seen 7 games into a season. He's got 5 hits. They're all home runs, including 2 of them on Sunday, including a grand slam. Exactly.
Yep.
True freshman Ike Irish already feels like he's the best hitter on the team. He's batting in the 3-hole.
So good. He's so good.
I mean,
he's unbelievable.
It's at the point where I saw on Saturday there was a borderline pitch that he did not swing at, and the umpire called it a strike. And somebody in the press box who is works for a national outlet, is a big the big college baseball veteran, said, "Well, if Ike's not swinging, I think that probably was a ball." Like,
nice.
That's how good this freshman is. But the ceiling is going to be determined by this pitching staff. And these games on Sundays like this, it's 2 Sundays in a row where Auburn's given up a bunch of runs. The offense picked them up this week, unlike last week. But you're learning more about the guys you can and can't trust, and who is ready for SEC action and who is not. So
they also did this all without getting like any innings from Gonzo.
Yeah, Joseph Gonzalez was out all weekend. He was supposed to be Saturday starter. When he threw his bullpen late Wednesday, he woke up on Thursday with shoulder soreness. It's the same shoulder that held him out of spring. So they held him out the whole weekend. He was not happy about it. He was not, he was very unhappy about that. But Auburn pieced it together without him. And so you feel better now about the depth in your pitching rotation. If you had to do a situation like in 2021, where you went to your 4 and your 5 and your 6 guys, you know more about them than you did. We've seen the back end of the bullpen. We've seen that these guys are close to the talent level of a Burkhalter and a Skipper, as far as a John Armstrong and a Will Cannon, but they don't quite have the endurance. Armstrong had 3 appearances in 5 days, was worn down at the end of the 3rd appearance. Cannon did a back-to-back, and in the 2nd inning he was in on the 2nd day, the stuff wasn't quite there. So they can do it in shorter stints, but this is all this schedule's about right now. You want to learn as much as you can. Auburn's getting an idea of who can do it and who can't. So Wednesday night, Florida A&M, this weekend against Lipscomb. Again, all your coverage, auburndaily.com. I'll be there. I'll have all your takeaways. We'll have the live blog. We'll have the previews, the opposition scouting, everything. It'll be great.